Today I want to talk to you a little bit about panic attacks and anxiety disorder. And through the years, I shared with you a lot of videos on panic attacks. I am not going to sit here and tell you that I have the total answer to never having a panic attack again, because I struggle with it. It would go in spells, and I would have panic attacks for a year to 2 years. Then I had years of freedom from it, only to have some years of it again. The first time that I ever experienced a panic attack was when I was shocked by lightning when I was a young girl. I was standing at the kitchen door and the lightning hit the metal door and it shocked me. And that was the beginning of my panic attacks. And that was PTSD, because I had a fear of storms, and then of course panic attacks grew from that. And then throughout the stages of my life, I had panic attacks. Sometimes I had them that were very bad. They lasted for years. Sometimes I had them 4 or 5 times a day. And then I had periods of time where it was just gone. And I would think that I conquered it. Well, panic disorder and anxiety disorder is something that is one of those things. I'm not going to say you never ever totally get over it, but it is something that a lot of us have to deal with. When my parents died, of course, it came on again just like that, and it was a couple years to get rid of them. And then menopause, again, they came on again. Took a couple years to get rid of them. I am pretty much free from them, except for once in a while I will get a panic attack. Panic attacks are not just caused by emotional stress or strain. While they can be caused by that, panic attacks can also be caused by environment. Also can be caused by food that you eat if you have an intolerance to it. So you have 2 brains. You have this brain, and then you have the brain in your stomach. And what happens is, it's not literally a brain in your stomach, but the doctors would say you have 2 brains. What happens is, if you eat something that you can't tolerate, sometimes that can produce panic attack type feelings. I had to deal with this often, and I had episodes of it again after I had my food intolerance and all of the things that was happening with my digestive system. Case in point, last night. Yesterday, I had an amazing day. I made videos, I got a lot of work done, I felt great, I went to bed, and all of a sudden, I started feeling anxiety. That is the sweaty palms, the heart racing, and the feeling of dread, and the feeling that you are going to be very sick. It was my stomach. I knew it was my stomach because I do now have an intolerance for nuts. I know, it sounds silly because I've ate nuts for so long, but after my last episode, I ate a handful of nuts again, not in the shell, but I ate them before bed, and it produced an anxiety, panic type feelings. My panic attacks last 45 minutes, so I can almost know by clockwork. I set the clock, I see what time it is, and when I start feeling better, it's always exactly 45 minutes later. Breathing. A lot of us do not breathe properly. And even though I know this, at times I don't think about it. Even happy times, happy things can cause stress on our bodies. If we're busy and we're really working and we're feeling great, we can overdo it, which for some of us who have anxiety disorders or panic attacks, that will produce that as well. Yesterday, I worked a lot, and I worked too much that I overdid it. When it came down for bedtime, I was not ready to sleep, and then I had that stomach issue. Well, it was just the formula for an anxiety or panic attack disorder. Now, anxiety is generalized. In other words, anxiety is that feeling, your heart racing, and that feeling of anxiousness. Panic attacks result from having prolonged periods of anxiety. So panic attacks is very physical feeling. You feel all of these things, and then of course it makes you even more nervous. And then it makes you even more afraid. And I knew what it was, so I breathed. I took deep breaths. Taking deep breaths resets your brain into thinking that everything is okay. Hyperventilation causes anxiety disorder, panic attacks, even worse. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Oh, this is bad. That is the worst thing to do. When you're feeling all these sensations, you need to take a step back, know what it is, and go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in for a count of 5, breathe out for a count of 7. Now, in a really bad panic attack, you won't be able to do that. Breathe in a count of 3 and breathe out in a count of 5. Always breathing out, exhaling more than what you did inhaling. That has helped me tremendously. All of these things can make a huge difference in your life. And I wanted to share that this morning with all of you, that I understand what you're going through with panic disorder and panic attacks. If you want more videos where I share with you in deep detail the things that you can do, please let me know. I don't know exactly how much the audience is for this, but if I do have an audience that are interested in it, vitamin B complex is amazing. I'm always depleted of vitamin B. That's how I've been since I was a little girl. I've always had different things that caused me to have anxiety, sensitive. What I watch on YouTube makes a huge impact on me. One of the things I wanted to share with all of you is I love old-fashioned TV shows, and I was watching Outer Limits. I love it. I love sci-fi. But what happens was at night I was starting to feel anxiety, and I was starting to dream and feel all of this, and I realized it was from watching those shows. I can't watch murder mysteries. I can't watch things like that. The hurricanes, having that constantly on the computer, my husband watching, just totally threw me. It just, even though I tried to not dwell on it, yes, there's certain a part of it that is mind over matter, but to be honest with you, the majority of it is you have to start taking proactive approach at your own life and stop doing the things that are going to make you anxious to a certain extent. I mean, yeah, we have stresses. We all have stresses, and we live in a highly stressful world. Like, seriously, we live in such a stressful world, our minds can't keep up with it. And so, slower pace of living, doing one thing at a time, tackle one thing at a time, enjoying the moment, and realizing that even if you do have a good day and you're feeling good, to make sure you still take a moment to rest. While I'm doing a lot of filming, sometimes I will go and lay down for 10 minutes. I don't sleep. I just lay there for 10 minutes to just give my body a little break. After menopause hit me, my body was not the same. The energy level was not the same, and I had to learn to work around it. I've always been a go-getter, and I still am, but I realize mind and your emotions and all of those things are wrapped up in your body. It's your mind, your body, and your mind. And once we get to that balance, it's not that we're going to always conquer it, that horrible thing, anxiety, but we will be able to treat it better and know what it is so it can't affect our lives as much. Food is a big thing. What are we eating? What foods are we eating? Journaling, tracking your anxiety and your panic attacks. Track it each day, and you will see some correlations. And I don't know about you, but I don't like them, and I don't want to ever have them again. And I would do anything to not have anxiety disorder. Scriptures and Bible reading, and sitting at my oil lamps at night and reading and watching some Little House on the Prairie has really changed my focus. What I do before bed makes a big difference on how I'm going to sleep. I used to read the comments right up before bed, and then I would have comments, and people may say something that's not very kind, and then that would play in my mind. I no longer read the comments before bed. I can't do that. It just emotionally, it's too hard. So I realize now things that I can do to be more proactive and maybe keeping those dreadful panic attacks from happening again. I got a lot I could share with all of you about panic attacks. If this is something that you're interested in, let me know. If not, then we'll move on to other things. See you guys again tonight.